to do a little live stream, so I look nice. I'm dressed quite presentably as well, so everything's good. I've had 2 pints at the pub, as it's one of my friend's birthdays, and I thought, hey, when's the better time to come on here and have a chat about Love Island? And that's what we're going to do. No, we're going to talk. If you've got any questions for me about, because I've been getting a load of questions on Twitter, and I just don't do it very well. So if you've got any questions about the album, or about Beautiful Faces, or any of the artwork or videos, just fire them at me, and I'm going to do my best to answer some stuff, like the YouTuber that I should have been. So, what have we come to? Suffolk. Oh, Suffolk, man. We can make that happen. I'm sure. One day we're gonna. What good music venues are there in Suffolk, huh? How many songs are there on Zeros? I'm gonna let you guys guess that one. I think it's easy. It's an easy guess. Although you don't actually know, so it's quite a difficult guess. What's the vibe? What inspired the album? And also got would you describe the album as a theme? What evolved the sound? I guess listening to a lot of 70s records. A lot of just like kind of Bob Dylan stuff where it just sounds like one take, and I really liked the live recording. I also wanted to shred a bit more, wanted the songs to be quite guitar based, just understanding myself as a musician a bit better. So yeah, I wanted to go down that angle. I brought my band out with me to record, and was just kind of like, loosen up, do your thing. Yeah, I don't know, there's quite a few different sonic influences, but I was just kind of trying to follow what I've been enjoying recently. It took a long time to get from writing the album to actually getting it out. Not getting it out, but like actually getting it done, because we didn't record it for a good 7 or 8 months until after I'd actually written pretty much everything on it. Do you like Hendrix? Yes, I do. Hendrix got me into guitar really in a big way, or electric guitar in a certain way. Leeds Fest, who knows? Bristol, I like Bristol. I go there very, very often. It's a good place. So an age limit for concerts, very show dependent there. Obviously try and keep it as open as possible, but I'm going to see what Twitter was saying. I feel like some people were throwing some questions at me on Twitter. You look piffy is one of them. There's meaning behind Beautiful Faces. It's hard to say specific meaning. I've just been observing sort of, I got really into Love Island, been observing internet culture a lot since I was a bit younger, and I don't know, it was a culmination of that. It's quite anxiety fueling, it's being on the internet. So I just wanted to make it like this monster song that was kind of a bit intimidating even to me. It felt a bit larger than life, and I don't know, it's quite softly discussed. The lyrics aren't that intense compared to some of the album. But yeah. What's your favourite track on album 2? Well, I think the last 2 songs I'm digging at the minute. I'm not going to say what they're called, but those have been the ones I've been digging a lot. I've been listening to the album a lot. Like it's really good. I've been really enjoying just putting it on, even no matter how much I've been listening to it. Like I can't lie that I have actually been listening to it a fair bit. So drop the album now, coward. That sounds like a not very sensible thing to do. So I'm not going to do it. Give me a review of track 2. Be an Astronaut. Why is it called Zeros? I wanted something simple. The first album was so specific in its title. And I don't know, I wanted to say Zeros tied in with so many things. Worthlessness, man. through the roof at the minute. People feel like Zero's even when they're like the most popular person in the world. And just tied in with loads of themes, computers and shit. Zero is kind of the negative of like the yes and no that makes up, you know, a lot of our world and a lot of our online sphere. Favourite song from What Do You Think About the Car is I Love Humongous and Listen to Your Friends, the alpha and the omega of the album. How have you been? I've been good. I had a stressful start to the year getting all this stuff together, but I'm feeling good, you know. Yeah, it's fun. Deck, what are you doing, man? Just chatting to the people, you know, doing my thing. We're all having a good time here. I'm just chatting shit, as you know, as I love to do. Everyone's involved. Do you know what I mean? That's my friend Bill there. Done many a painting for our gaff. I am, if you missed me introducing, I am in my housemate Luke. I'm in his room using his nice mirror because my room is awful. Is exactly how you would imagine my room to be, really. Were you at High Street, Kensington today? I walked past you and I need to know. I was in High Street, Kensington today, and I think you did walk past me, because I saw you and I looked deep into your eyes. Why do you have so many pedals? Because I don't know when to stop, and that is just, you know, in my nature. So, oh yes, Talking Heads was a good choice for this. I think it was not bad. Yeah, if you got, as I say, I'll just remind, because some of you probably joined a bit late. If you got any questions about the album, about Beautiful Faces, about how we made the art in the video, maybe I'll just talk about the art in the videos, because I think I just want to do that. The artwork we shot in a centrifuge, so the sort of shot of me like this is genuinely me like this in a spinning fucking wheel that is going at a ridiculous speed, so I'm stuck to the wall. We kind of wanted to create this void, and we used a couple of different pictures from it and stitched them together to make the artwork, because, you know, it follows the story of a lost soul, a lost boy in our modern world. It's slightly more modern world than now, I think, but you know, you'll understand when you listen to it, I suppose. What else was I going to get to? Oh yeah, I did want to talk to. We've also been working on, you know, trying to make this whole campaign, so to speak. Sorry, you can tell I've been with my label today because I'm talking like a labelier, like a marketeer. My good friends, the marketeers, who do all the stuff that I don't do. I've kind of been pushing to make this sort of whole thing as sustainable as possible. Obviously, being a touring musician is full of, you know, kind of bullshit that destroys the planet. So we've got as much of the sort of packaging and all the stuff around the album, the merch and stuff, sort of soya-based and vegetable-based stuff instead of, you know, material instead of plastics. And recycled, we're using recycled material, recycled cardboard for the sort of packaging and stuff of things. We're trying to do as much of that as possible. It's a little bit more expensive than your standard bag. Only a little bit, you know, what we're charging extra for is the extra cost of things. So that's unfortunate, but that's just what we're trying to do with this record. Is just take a little bit more responsibility, and hopefully by doing that, it all becomes cheaper in the long run, and it all becomes more of a thing generally. So wanted to talk about that, because obviously it's a little bit more expensive than your normal records, but only by the small margin that is making things that little bit more sustainable. Because obviously when I'm flying around the world and talking about the environment, everyone's like, you dickhead. So that's what we're trying to do. Where'd you get that yellow jacket in your music video? So that is a vintage 70s nudie jacket that I managed to rip on set. I asked you reckon I could just buy this anyway, since I've ripped it now and it's like that jacket is invaluable and you can't buy it? So, nice one, guys. Yeah, just keeping it real. Ripping stuff that is not mine. Got to be a big influencer. Yeah, influencing. Collab with Claro. It's coming, man. One of these sweet days, we'll get together and we're gonna cover, you know. I wish it could be Christmas every day or something like that. Why the checkered socks? They're just your standard sock, aren't they? Did you enjoy filming Beautiful Faces? Yeah, it was really fun. It was a fun video to make. It was a bit stressful towards the end because we were kind of colliding this sort of CGI world and the stuff we'd shot live and just getting that right. Took a bit of time and took a bit of pressing as we got into the final days, but yeah, I'm really proud of that video. I think it's the most interesting video that we've made, you know. Well, we made some really fun stuff in the last record, but I was really proud of how it came together. So yeah, I was really happy with that. So yeah, if anyone's got anything else to say, you know, I'm just kind of hanging out for like, check the time, 5 more minutes maybe. Did you fangirl when Lewis Capaldi put your song in his story? I didn't say no, but he's a ledge, you know. He's a making pop for the people and being a G and just hanging out and having a good time, and I appreciate that a whole load. People. Hey, favourite High School Musical song? Everybody's always talking at me, and it's I'm really going off piece with the album stuff. Where are you going to go for your Zero tour? I mean, hopefully as many places as we can, really. Depends, you know, where people are buying the record. You know, unfortunately touring is so expensive and going to places that are far away is very difficult to do. And obviously, you don't take international flights lightly. Trying to be sustainable and all that, so... Just trying to get as many... Please come to London. I live in London. And I'm playing in London in like 7 days. So, come along. I'm here. Come and say hello. Come to my house. Don't come to my house. Collab with Sam Fender. Oh, that's coming. That's a coming. Brandon loves you, says Naga Brandon. He knows my emotions towards her. He knows. Last night I had the strangest dream. What was your strange dream? Tell us. Declan McKenna, trying to be sustainable and all that. That is literally my motto, you know, it's just trying my best and generally failing. So Gorilla Scientific. Sail away to China. Nice. Let's see if there's any things on Twitter as well that I can get back to. I'm doing my best to be an influencer right now. This isn't really my bag, so sustainability tips. Number 1, eat more vegan food. Number 2, just Google it. There's loads of people who are better at talking about this crap than I am. So I think just focusing on what you consume is a big part of it. And actually, I find in London somewhere like this fairly easy to do. When you're out and about, maybe a bit more difficult. But cooking vegan, I find, is cheaper than not. I've found. If you are, you know, have the time to sort of cook for yourself and all that. Obviously not that easy for everyone. If you're living at home with your fam and they're all eating the meat and cheese, not that easy, or whatever your situation is. But just try your best to think about what, you know, what you're consuming is coming from, because I think that's the primary thing that we can do. Obviously there's just a lot of structural change that's needed to happen, but put pressure on those people, you know. So, you know, that's kind of what we can do. So, favourite vegan food? Oh, all sorts of things. I love a lentil bolognese. I make lentil bolognese quite a lot. Lentils are a great replacement for, you know, mince or anything like that. Lentil shepherd's pie. I make a banging shepherd's pie. You look more like Alex Lawther than ever. Maybe it's because I am Alex Lawther. Right, has anyone got any more? I feel like I'm going off-piste. I was supposed to come here and talk about the record. I got a record coming out. And I just released a song and a video and all that stuff. So if anyone's got any more questions on that stuff, because as I do, I'm going on a tangent, hit me up. I'm going to be here for maybe 3.5 more minutes. So, as you see from my watch, come to Portugal, says Isabel. Hello, Isabel. I'm trying my best. I'm trying way too hard. How long did it take to make the album? So the album took me... I mean, I wrote most of the album from... The majority of it, I'd written a fair chunk before, but like from August when we finished touring the last record, that summer... well, I suppose from February actually, when we finished, no, April when we got back from that tour. February was kind of when it started. When we got back from the main bulk of touring the album to sort of December of, not last year, the year before, I wrote the bulk of the album in those sort of 10 months-ish. And then I wrote one more song that ended up on the album after that, and I'd written 2 or 3 of the songs, maybe 2 of the songs for the album prior to that. And then it took sort of 6 months to actually end up in the studio recording the album. Just figuring out all that took a while. And then since then, it's been another half a year getting it out, just getting all the stuff together for it. So actually writing the album took about a year, but just all the stuff around it, touring at the back end of the last record and everything took a bit of time. I just, you know, it's a bit of pressure to sort of do it in under 2 years or something, but I just think people release a lot of music and sometimes I just like feel nothing about it and I don't want to come back to it. So I wanted to make music that people come back to, that I would come back to, you know. Don't care what you think. Let's see what's going on here. Who would you want to support on tour if it could be anyone? St. Vincent. I'm always saying this. I love St. Vincent. I think she's just the bomb. And so bloody good at guitar and really cool. And that's kind of my thing. That's what I like to see in a musician. What would you say the new album genre is? Just kind of like, it's rock and roll. I don't know, space pop maybe. There's not. It probably does fit into a genre. I just find artists themselves are terrible at labelling their own music because it feels reductive in terms of what you do. But it definitely does fit in somewhere. I'm just too attached to my music to let it be part of something. But yeah. Any regrets on what do you think about the car? What do you think about the car? Yeah, of course. I mean, not regrets. I just would do things differently now because I know what I'm doing in the studio better. And I know what I'm doing songwriting better than I did when I wrote some of the songs when I was 15, 16. Like, I'm literally 21. So, definitely evolved a bit. And, you know, yeah. I listen, but like, you know, without the experience of recording that record, I wouldn't have learnt all that stuff. So I do feel like the new album shits all over the last one. It is loads better, so hopefully people feel that way about it too. But I don't really care because I'm happy with it. And at the end of the day, being happy with your own, you know, produce is the most important thing. I don't think you should second guess your audience because they want, you know, your truth. That's the important thing as an artist is, you know, people want your truth. You know, and the stories that make that up. So I think I'm giving it a go. Right, go on. Give me the last few questions to do and then I'm going to leave you poor souls alone. Favourite songs of bands at the moment. Brittany Howard's new album. She's a lead singer of the Alabama Shakes. Her new solo record is great. I like a lot of music. I'm listening to a lot of music. Listen to a lot of Conan Moccasin at the minute. Yeah. Yeah, tons of stuff. I've got a playlist. I'm making a playlist of influences for zeros as well, so you can listen to what I've been listening to. Lots of 70s stuff, Fleetwood and Dylan and, you know, things like that. Flying Burrito Brothers, all sorts of 60s and 70s stuff that I've been digging as I've been making this record. Especially being in Nashville just feels like the place for that kind of thing. Will there be sad songs now? There's sad songs on the album. It's dark in places. The saddest song that I wrote for the album didn't make it on the album, but I think I'm going to put it out at some point. My friend Soren Bryce, who some of you will know and love, sang on that track. And she sang and played strings and keys on some of the record as well. Is your new album more political than your last? I think it's less obviously political. Like, I dropped British Bombs and that feels so direct, but like the album itself, British Bombs isn't on the album, and the album itself is more story based and definitely has its morals and messages. A lot of environmentalism, as I've been sort of talking about, and a lot of just like looking at how we're fucking up each other and the world now, but in the form of stories, not necessarily trying to be too specific, because I like writing stories and I like people taking things their own way. Are the songs depressing? No, they're not. No, they're everything and nothing. When are you touring? Lots soon, so just keep your eyes out. Dublin, yes, definitely. Do you like caraway seeds? Actually, that line came from my mum. My mum says that. Says couldn't eat a caraway seed quite a lot, so. What's the song you're playing right now? I'm playing some Talking Heads at the minute. I've been actually just playing through their Spotify page. This song's And She Was. But one of my faves, Talking Heads, you know, as it were. Will you be coming to Georgia? Of course I'll be coming to Georgia. I'll be coming all over the world. Right, okay, I'm going to love you and leave you because I'm just chatting shit. And I've had a good time just explaining myself and trying to be a person. Always trying to be a person. So, anyway, Godspeed. Look after yourselves. Good luck.